I feel like the Xbox 360 is just full of games that got completely forgotten. And some of these games are actually pretty good, and some of them really aren't. And I don't really know where this one sits. I really like the idea of this game, and just like the sort of story of the game. But I still can't decide if, like, in practice it was any good whatsoever. If you haven't worked out by the video footage you're watching already, I am of course talking about The Lord of the Rings War in the North. My name's the Retro Gaming Goose. It's February, and for some reason I've decided to do a Lord of the Rings video every week because I love The Lord of the Rings, and some of their games are, well, they're really few and far between what's good and what isn't. But just before I get fully into the video about Lord of the Rings War in the North, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, it's the best way to keep up with all of my retro gaming content that I do on this channel. Anyway, straight back in. So, War in the North came out in 2011 and was an action roleplay game, I guess is the best way of saying it. Developed by Snowblind Studios and published by Warner Brothers. This game came out a couple of years before Shadow of War. Is that the first one? Shadow of Mordor? That's it. So, to me, it always felt like they were really focusing on Shadow of Mordor, and this was just like the other game that they made. And the game takes place in a weird sort of continuity, kind of running alongside the movies, but not, and there's a very particular reason why. So back in 2009, like when Lord of the Rings Conquest came out, which was last week's video, the rights to the Lord of the Rings was held by Vivaldi Universal Games in partnership with Token Enterprises. That meant that games based on the movie, or the movies by Peter Jackson movies, could only be. However, this game was made by Warner Brothers, who had acquired the rights to both intellectual properties but didn't have the rights to make a game based solely on the film. So they had to pick an area of the Lord of the Rings sort of mythology that ran alongside the films but wasn't directly the films. So they came up with Lord of the Rings War in the North, and yeah, that's pretty much it. They decided it was going to be an action roleplay game, and heavy on the action. This is the game. This game is way more sort of hack and slash than it is RPG, and it's a very basic hack and slash. It kind of does that thing where it's not good at being an RPG, and it's not good at being a hack and slash, so it's that weird middle ground of game. So you have the choice between 3 different characters that you can play as, but you don't really get the choice of like switching between them during the game. You have to go out of the game to then come back into the game picking a new character. It's very annoying. It is very multiplayer focused as well. I think the idea behind this game was that everyone would be controlling like a character, because the AI in this game is awful. The characters that you get to play as is Aradan, who is a ranger who is like best mates with Aragorn, but Aragorn never mentioned him, so you know, insert fan fiction. Farin, a dwarf, who is like your tank character, and then Andril, who is an elf, who is the mage in the game. That's pretty much it. You got 1 tank, 1 DPS sort of like rogue, and a wizard. Every character kind of has like a range attack and a sort of like light attack and heavy attack. That's pretty much it. It's pretty basic. You can't really go much further than that in the game. You can equip a few different items that you find as you go along through the game, but nothing major. Now, I remember back when this game was first released in 2011, and then me and a few of my mates were so excited for this game. We thought it was going to be the greatest game that ever came out. We thought this was going to be incredible. Like, we genuinely thought there was not going to be a better game than this. It's Lord of the Rings. It looks amazing. It's a new story, and I can't decide even now if this is a good game, which is weird because I would love to hear some other people's opinions on this game. Like, as I was playing it to capture footage, I was like, oh, this is going on a bit. And I always feel like if that's your opinion of a game, like you're trudging through it, then is it a good game? Who knows? But at the same time, I was having like some degree of fun with it. Like, I went through it for quite a long time. I thought the game was surprisingly gory as well for a Lord of the Rings game. I think they must just get away with it because it's orcs rather than humans. But anyway, when this game came out, like I said, me and my friends are really looking forward to it, and we played most of it through co-op. And I feel like, looking back on it now, a lot of the reason I like this game was because of the co-op, like because of how much fun I had playing it with a few of my mates, rather than the actual game. The same sort of thing happens with me and Dead Space 3. I really like Dead Space 3, but I like Dead Space 3 because at the time I played through it with my friend and we thought it was one of the funniest games we'd ever played. The same with Resident Evil 6. Same friend played through the whole game and thought it was hilarious. But I'm like, am I just misremembering that time of playing this game? Or, yeah. By the way, this is the extent of the RPG mechanics in the game. It's just selecting things that you want to happen. Like, oh yeah, I want another spell. Okay. Oh, I want to be better at casting spells. Like, there's not really, like, much, I don't know, there is a little bit of choice in the game, but not a huge amounts from what I remember. I mean, like, I'm not going to sit down and play through all of this game. I've got loads of other stuff to keep doing. I still haven't even 100%ed Tears of the Kingdom, and I've got fucking Echoes of Wisdom looking at me. I just need to play that game as well. But yeah, I just feel like this is another sort of Lord of the Rings game that came out to a great nothing. Like, no one really talks about this anymore. No, I don't know many people that even played it, mainly because, like, the Xbox 360 is getting very old now. Scarily old. I heard someone the other day refer to the Xbox 360 as a retro console, and I aged. But yeah, that's been me talking about Lord of the Rings, War in the North. I'd love to know if anyone else actually enjoyed this game, or if they could help me decide whether or not this game was any good whatsoever. Because I feel like it is, but then I just don't know. I don't know if it's nostalgia looking at it, or if it's just, you know, actually a good game. Anyway, leave a comment below. Let me know if you played this game, what you think of this game, and if it's just nostalgia, the reason I like this, or if you think it was an absolutely terrible game. Please let me know in the comments. I'll happily talk about this game with anyone. My name is the Retro Gaming Goose. If you did enjoy this video, please remember to like the video, and if you want to keep up to date with all of my sort of videos that I bring out on YouTube, the best way to do that is to subscribe to the channel. This whole month, every week, I'll be bringing out another video about a Lord of the Rings game, and every weekday, no, not every weekday, but every Monday, Wednesday and Friday will be a gameplay video of whatever I'm playing through at the moment. Should be the Marvel Ultimate Alliance series at the moment. So if you want to watch them, by all means, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.